All right, this one's for you, Doug. This is a 1989 Boeing 747-400. In fact, it is the first 747-400 that was ever manufactured and delivered in the world. That's right, this is ship 6301 at the Delta Museum here at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. Hey there everybody, what's up? This is Matt, and today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal. What I'm going to be showing you is some of my favorite things in Atlanta instead of discovering something new. I've been here before, but you might not have. This is the Delta Museum. Specifically, this is the Boeing 747 experience at the Delta Museum. Let's take a look at that a little bit closer. The 747-100, the predecessor to this 47-400, first flew in February of 1969, 5 months before Apollo 11 went to the moon. Keep that in mind when you think you need a computer to design an aircraft this size. That is simply not the case. Some other interesting facts about this aircraft. If you take a look at the rudder behind me, from the top of the rudder down to the ground, that is roughly the height of a 6-story building. I cannot stress it enough. This is a big aircraft, and when I mean big, I mean really, really big. The amount of paint it takes to paint a 747 is about 90 gallons of paint. I don't want to hear any complaints from y'all the next time you have to say that you have to spend $4 for some touch-up paint at AutoZone. I would not want to see the bill it is to repaint this aircraft. Now, when I said this aircraft is big, I really mean this aircraft is massive. Take a look at this interior shrouding and the jet of this 747-400. When I say this plane is big, I really mean it. The whole inner diameter of one of these jets is roughly the same diameter of a B-52 bomber. Think about that for a second. An old school aircraft from World War II could fit inside here. It's a big plane. You can't talk about the 747 unless you talk about one of its most notable design features, and that is the double deck on the front side of the aircraft. There's a very good reason for that. When the 747 was developed by Boeing in the 1960s, they had two purposes in mind. One, for ferrying a lot of passengers. Two, for cargo. You know why? They thought supersonic jet travel was the way of the future. We see how that went. Anyhow, so the idea is you can have your flight crew and your cabin all up top, and basically the front of the nose on the cargo variants of the 747 will actually tilt upward, and then they just take these massive cargo containers and put them in. In fact, when they were building the 787 Dreamliner, Boeing created a modified version of the 747 called the Dream Lifter. It actually held the fuselage to the 787's inside a modified version of the 747. It is just really impressive. This is the economy cabin on a 747. Now, the length of it is roughly 150 feet. With 150 feet of distance, let me just give you a reference for what you could actually do with that. You could actually take the entire historic first flight of the Wright brothers at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, all in this economy section. That is how long a 747 is. So the next time you complain about having not enough legroom in economy, remember to shut up. The Wright brothers could have taken their first flight where you're sitting. Some also notable features about the 747 fleet in general: it has ferried roughly 3.5 billion passengers around the world during its entire production lifetime. That is roughly half of the world's population. Think about that. Half of the world's population has been on a 747 of some sort. It's just mind-blowing. And again, it's a big aircraft. And this is the second part of our day today. So where we're at is called the Dwarf House. So if you are a Chick-Fil-A fan, such as myself, this is the very first place where a Chick-Fil-A sandwich was ever served by the founder of Chick-Fil-A, Truett Cathy himself. So they have a very unique restaurant menu here, and they are open Monday through Saturday, 24 hours a day, but still closed on Sunday. they have something called a hot brown in there. I really want to try it because it sounds delicious. So let's go ahead and see what that's all about and give it a try. And this is the Dwarf House. It's been serving Chick-fil-A, the original Chick-fil-A sandwich, since 1946, and it has a very unique menu. In fact, when I say menu, I really do mean menu. You can get, I kid you not, a steak. That's right. You can actually order an actual steak, 10-ounce ribeye from a Chick-fil-A owned restaurant. This is blowing my mind, people. Okay, so one of the items I was told I have to try is called a hot brown. Hot brown is this. It's got potatoes, it's got chicken, it's got bacon, toast, cheese, and it looks all types of delicious, but probably not the best for my diet. So let's take a closer look at it. Served on a casserole dish. Usually comes with a side salad. I'm deciding to get green beans, which is marginally more healthy or something like that. So yeah, basically gonna dig into this, see how it tastes. But the one thing that blows my mind is there's something called the blue menu. A certain handful of restaurant patrons are eligible, if they're loyal for a certain length of time, by the Cathy family for actually getting this this blue menu, and basically entitles them to pricing that it was back in 1946. So you can get a hamburger for like 15 cents or a cup of coffee for 5 cents. It's crazy how cheap everything is. So I don't have one of those, so we'll see how this is. So let's dig in. I'm not going to eat on camera, and let's see how it tastes. Thank you so much for watching, and again, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did like it, remember to give it a thumbs up and click on subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at MattDavisOnAir. Also in the comments, please leave any suggestions for future episodes for a location you would like to see featured on this channel. I'm looking to film episodes in and around the Atlanta metro area or any other nearby destination that can be reasonably reached in a day trip. I would also like any suggestions for little independently owned restaurants or unique food stops along the way as well. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, I'm Matt.